Hi guys, it's Mary from Glimpse and Beyond. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hey, it's nighttime. I saw the moon. It's super exciting. Look who we're here with. It's a roundtable event. We got Midas, Ava,
Hey,
Mama, got Liz from Liz Olive Show, and we got Manifesting Maren. It's super exciting. Okay,
Hello,
you guys
everyone.
asked for it. You guys wanted a roundtable. All our people wanted a roundtable. So this is for you guys. All right. Who's up first?
Here we are.
We all made it.
What do you guys want to talk about?
And Liz is still pregnant. So we're just
still
bouncing
there.
ball. We're fine. We're good. We got this.
Still there. Tomorrow officially.
A live birth.
Oh,
Yeah, your water might break during the
Gosh. If I bounce on this
suddenly
much, it might.
leaves, it's fine, you guys. She's just having her baby. It's
Yeah.
fine.
If I just
You
like
never
disappear
know
for a minute.
when women gather, right? You
Yes.
for bringing that energy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it should be, right?
Yes.
Women around you. That's
Correct.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Are you overdue?
No, my due date's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
I think you're going to be a week late. I like the 22nd for you.
I love the 22nd also, but just because it's
then it'd be
hilarious.
112222. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Thanksgiving
Angel
shortly
numbers.
thereafter, so you can eat.
No. Well, I'm not moving my body, so it just like all just stays there.
Have everyone wait on you. That'll be
yeah.
exciting to see what your 3-year-old brings you on a plate.
Oh.
It's true. He would. He'd be like, Mama, you want to eat? He's very,
Yes.
he's starting
Yeah.
to take care of me a lot lately. It's really cute.
Oh, that's so adorable.
He's very emotionally intelligent also. He's like, Mama, you sad? Why are you sad?
Oh, I love that.
I want this baby out of me. That's all.
Aww.
Yeah, it's like, how do you explain
bet.
hormones to a 3-year-old? You know,
Yeah,
like, I'm
exactly.
just sad. Just let me purge. I'm good.
Yeah, that was a lot of today, hence the
Odd.
and yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Liz, are you planning a home birth?
Yeah, well, it's technically a home birth, but because I'm not in my home, it's going to be at my midwife's house because I'm in a rental house right now.
Okay.
And we needed a place for my son to stay because we're not at home and not around all the people he knows and everything. So we're just gonna go to my midwife's house, which is like 10 minutes from here, and birth at her house.
I love it.
Very nice.
I know that's it's gonna be all good, and you can nest when you get home.
Yeah, exactly. My home will be like totally renovated when I get home.
Yeah, and you won't know where anything is in the kitchen. It'll be fun.
Well, it's all in my guest bedroom right now, so
At least you will have a kitchen.
yeah, I'll actually have one, which is great, but
Yeah. It's the little things we take for granted,
oh my goodness, seriously. I don't think I would have ever thought that being in a rental house would be that big of a deal to me, because I've always been kind of gypsy like in the sense where I can like go anywhere, be comfortable anywhere, whatever, make myself at home anywhere. But like during this time of pregnancy and like really wanting to create a home for a baby, I'm like, I need to be home right now.
Right.
I need comfort right now. So I've tried my best to make this house feel as homey as possible. I already put up Christmas decorations.
Oh,
I have
good.
the fire pit lit 24/7.
Oh,
Yeah. You gotta make
Anything
it
I can do to
cozy.
make it, anything I can do to make it cozy. I'm like, don't stop me, because my husband's very much like, we're not going to be there that long. I'm like, I don't care.
you still want it to be homey.
Yeah.
That seems like a for real thing. Like
It is.
if you haven't like had a baby before, it for real is like you can't even help yourself. It's just like you gotta do the nesting, make it.
Yeah.
You turn into a little bit of a monster.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm like getting like OCD about everything.
This is mama bear mode.
Tanya, did you feel that with all your kids or just your first? Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
I remember for my third I had my birth pool set up for like 2 weeks ahead of time. And I was with all my kids, I'm like 2 weeks late. So it was set up for
my
like
gosh.
Every single one of them. I know you've mentioned that before, but all three,
like were they all home births?
were they all three 2 weeks late?
All of them.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Oh my
funny.
God, that's great.
Do
Yeah.
they allow you to go past 2 weeks late in Canada?
You basically here you have to get transferred out of midwifery care at that point,
Same here,
which
yeah.
I like was not willing to do.
Nice.
Yes. So you kind of will the baby, like, come on, this is your last day.
Take some herbs.
Let's go. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did a lot of like homeopathy and herbs and bouncing on the ball and
Yes.
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
what gets the baby in, gets the baby out.
That's
I
true
just-
story.
I just had a conversation with my midwife today because I found out that this one herb pretty much is guaranteed to induce labor.
Ooh,
And I was like, how do you feel about this? And she's like, do you feel like something's wrong? Are you trying to induce yourself? I'm like, I just am really over it. She's like, I don't think that's a good one to start with.
right. Let's start with something lighter, like a
Yeah,
nice,
exactly.
a nice tea.
Yeah. Well, I'm drinking like so much tea.
I bet.
So
Oh,
much.
I feel so, I'm so happy for you, but it's got to be so uncomfortable. I've only been through pregnancies with people like that. And it's so hard when you get to that point because you're just like, whatever, get out of me. I love you.
Yeah. I mean, God, universe had to design it that way because otherwise, why would you put yourself through that much pain? Like
Yeah.
willingly, you know?
Yes.
I'm like,
I
I don't care.
I couldn't imagine having kids. Like you guys are the real MVPs for real.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh.
it's honestly like, it's one of the weirdest things in the world, honestly, like growing a human and then
Yeah.
pushing it out of your body. And then like, you've got to like, like you got to, I don't know, reintroduce yourself to this human all over
Yes.
again in a different way because it's been spiritual at first and then now
Correct.
it's physical.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's
It's like
such a mind F.
Right. And then they like usually let you like leave the hospital or the birthing center and they let you take it home and you're like, what?
What do I
How to
do?
keep it
That's like,
alive now.
Hi.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
What am I supposed to do with it at home?
yeah, literally no one prepared me for that first week of motherhood. No one. Like I was shocked. I was
Yeah, and it's so different for everybody. It's so different. I remember our niece, my husband's sister, had just passed away like 3 years before she had a baby. The baby came on the day his sister died,
mm,
and it literally is his sister rebirth.
wow.
Oh yeah.
So we went over like the first week. She's like, I got this. I got this. She was like 23. I got this. I'm like, okay, you got youth on your side. We went over after day 4. She just opened the door and I looked at her. I said, give me the baby. She's like, what? I'm like, upstairs.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I'm like, bed. Yeah. And my husband was like, oh my God, we're staying here all day. I'm like, all day. I cooked, I cleaned, we took care of the baby. She slept for like 6 hours. She came down in an utter panic, thinking something had happened to the baby.
Mm.
Like, he's fine. She's like, well, how did you feed him? I'm like, you have milk in the fridge. We're good.
People like you are so needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell
And
us
she's
to
like,
go to sleep. Like tell us to
Yes.
stop.
correct. And I'm like, your food's made for a week. Like, just whip it out and throw it in the crock pot. Like, here, like, just rest. Because you need to rest. It's pushing a human out. It's not easy.
No.
Gosh, I couldn't
Western
imagine.
culture. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I just said I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Western culture is so backwards the way that we do things, especially around, I mean, so many areas, but especially around birth. Like,
Yep.
I mean, women are supposed to be around each other during birth. We're supposed to be
Yes.
surrounded by other women helping us afterwards. Women should really be like in bed for like a good 30 days after giving birth and just, you know, getting to know baby, resting, healing, nursing your
Yeah.
baby. And that's really all you should be doing. And yeah, I was very lucky to have like my mom. I had 2 doulas and then my partner. So I remember my doula like getting my placenta ready to encapsulate, and my mom would be getting food, and somebody would be helping with the kid. Like there's always somebody doing something, right? And that's I just feel for women who don't have support like that, because it's rough. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like Liz said, it literally is like a mind fuck where you're just like, wait, this, like, because you've had this baby inside of you, and then all of a sudden you're like, but you go through this weird, like, or at least I did, this weird kind of like detachment of like
Mhm.
you're not inside me anymore, like I don't feel you moving me anymore, but you're right
Yeah.
here. And it's, yeah, it's just like,
Yeah, it's, yeah, that's exactly it. It's like this, like, whole, it feels like you stepped on a different timeline. You're like, what in the world? Like,
Because you
yeah.
kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. I've heard about the placenta, like eating it after, but what are the benefits of it? Like I'm really intrigued by that, like, and curious, like, because I'm always into like holistic things, but I've never really looked into that because I've never had kids. So
yeah.
like what are the benefits behind that?
So it's really good in iron source, as well as like your healing and bringing in your milk supply. And it's also very, very good for like postpartum depression. So like healing, helping with like your hormones.
Okay.
It's good to like save it too. For, I had tinctures made for when I'm in my prime years of menopause.
You're going to want
because
those. Trust me.
yeah, because it's good to have that even for that time, right? If you think
That's
about
so
like all the
interesting.
nutrients that's going
Wow.
through your placenta to the baby. And then I did mine encapsulation. I know other people will do like smoothies and stuff like that, but I wasn't that hardcore.
Yeah. I think one of my sisters had it encapsulated as well, I think. Yeah.
That's
I
such
actually did.
valuable.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's such valuable information that I wish more people knew. Like, especially, I never would have made the connection to menopause and postmenopausal stages, and it's literally the like embryonic cells and like the precursors and everything
Yes.
that you need to create the hormones that are starting to fluctuate and diminish. So like just
Yeah.
the stuff that is kept from us. That's why we
Yep.
need to keep
Yeah.
talking about natural healing, holistic methods and alternative medicines, and being together and bringing humanity back to this freaking world, because
Yeah.
the division and the separation and like isolation makes people sick, literally.
Yeah.
And then prime example, like when a woman comes home with a baby for the first time, or even the second or third time, I'm sure like she still needs support and love and care and nurturing, you know? I don't know, that's just like so beautiful to me to even think about that, but then also really like that it's like kept from us, you know?
It is.
Yeah,
I
and
actually I did a video on that today of the sacred sisterhood and
Yes.
and us, like how important it is, like as the divine feminine is rising right now
Mhm.
in men and women, right? You know, having that divine masculine
Yes.
heal his divine feminine and supporting us, right? And really getting back to that sisterhood, because it was the sisterhood that we passed down the traditions and the healing. And you know, it's where you can like you're fixing each other's crowns, right? Opposed to like being in competition with each other. And you are being there to like help each other through birth, through, you know, death, and through, you know, you're able to create together and heal together and grow together. And it really is so, so important. Being able, I mean, and you see the womanhood being taken away in so many different areas. It's like even now more, it's even worse, right? And it's not the like, it's not the feminist aspect. It's not that at all. It's really about healing that divine feminine, that creativity, that sensuality, the nurturer, and coming into balance with the divine masculine in the beautiful dance that we do. When
Yes.
we are
Well,
at
and
that
that's
place.
exactly why they've kept it suppressed, though, is because, you know, if they keep, you know, we're programmed into this matrix to compete with other women and,
Yep.
you know, not build each other up, but tear each other down, and jealousy and competition. And because they know that if we all came together, that, you know, we would rule the world and it would be a nurturing place. And you know, these satanic people, they don't want that. So I mean, it's no wonder the feminine has been suppressed for so long. And I
Yeah.
remember hearing something that stuck with me, that God made men to be the physical strength and women to be the mental strength, like the intuitive side. And it's like
Yes.
that's been taken away from society as well. Like going with your intuition is considered woo woo, or you know,
Witchcraft or-
yeah. And it's like it's literally like we all have everything within us. And
Yeah.
that's the feminine energy too, that, you know, a man can have that feminine energy as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the left and right brain
Yeah.
situation. Can't have one without the other, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why there's been such a lack of love on the planet too, because the feminine energy being suppressed, but it's all by design, you know, they know exactly what they're doing. So
Well,
Exactly.
and it's getting broken. We're all coming
exactly.
together and we're bringing each
Exactly.
other up and we're doing it.
Yeah.
And
Which
it
is
goes
fantastic.
back to the placenta. Did you know that like it sold for like $50,000 out of the hospital?
I did know that. I did know that.
What?
because I heard it. Yes, people sell them on the black market. It's
Wait,
horrible.
they charge you to take your own placenta
No.
home?
No.
Oh, I was like,
You could sell it if you want to.
There's
wow.
apparently a like waiver that you have to sign to take it from the hospital,
Yep.
which I actually did because I ended up my first birth was supposed to be a home birth, but I got transferred and everything.
Right.
But so I had to, they looked at me so weird when I asked for it. They were like, oh, what? And I was like, do people not do this? They're like, no. And
Like, you ain't multiplying my baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I found out,
What y'all do?
I
yeah,
took
I
all
found out
parts home.
they
Yeah.
use it for like, they technically say that it's discarded, but it's actually sold. And they make like $50,000 off of each one. And they put it in skincare and they put it in
Yeah.
like, who knows what else. But yeah, like 50,000, it's worth that much,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
much.
I was watching something that was about that and about God, because it's YouTube, you guys. I'm sorry for being so cryptic, but like if you have a little boy, a lot of people get those actually sell on the black market. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
remember, but
horrified me. It horrified me. I'm like,
Yeah.
crap.
I've heard celebrities talk about like face cream with that in a, yeah.
Sandra Bullock on
Ellen.
Ellen
Yeah.
like pulled it out of her because she's
Yeah.
That was a battle I did not win with my husband because of his culture. He wanted him to
That's a
be
yes.
that.
Yes.
And it's a very cultural thing with them. They
Yeah.
actually don't do it till they're like 10 in his
Holy
culture.
crap. Okay, that's a little bit old.
It's a whole becoming a man ceremony.
Oh,
Yeah.
ow.
It's also better than
Wow.
traumatizing the baby right away because
Right,
there's so many
exactly.
things that are done to traumatize the
Yeah.
baby as soon as it comes
I
out.
know.
Yes.
Yeah. We
So-
technically went the Jewish route and
Okay.
waited till like, you technically aren't supposed to do it till the 8th day, but we waited till like the 12th day or something.
Okay.
And the doctor let us keep
Perfect.
the skin.
Perfect. Yep.
So I was like, I feel a little bit better, but I
Well,
don't feel better
yes.
about traumatizing my child.
Yes,
I feel better
you-
that they didn't take anything from him. at
Yeah, and
least.
you're so good, Liz, because you know how to heal your child. Like from that trauma.
Yeah, that's true.
You do.
Eventually.
You do. And he'll be fine. He'll be
Yeah.
fine. It's just it's horrible. And it just started coming out like the past 3 or 4 years about all this surrounding motherhood
Yeah.
and birthing and what parts are used for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just funny because I didn't become a really like holistic type of person till in my 20s. And I remember saying like, oh, I'm going to take all the drugs that the hospital can give me, whatever, like at one point in my life. And then it was just like intuitively, I like just completely switched. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And yeah, it's something that I like, just like innately was like, I'm not having a child in a hospital. That
good
feels
girl.
so wrong to me.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone that does, but for me, I was just like, this just feels like we're I don't know what you call it, The first word that came to my mind was demonizing something.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is though. It is.
It is.
It's a satanic ritual. The way how Western
Yeah.
hospitals have. I mean, again, no offense to anybody, because a lot of people have no idea. Like,
Right.
you know, and especially like if somebody's just new to waking up and you've already had kids, and it's like it's okay. It's all a learning process. But yeah, almost like everything that the Western hospitals do is like the exact opposite of like our intuitive, you know. And I'm not, and I've like, cause I have 11 nieces and nephews. So like, I've seen a lot of them being born, and it's just like, they take the baby away from their mother
Yeah.
right away. And I'm just like, that does not seem normal. Like you need to hold that baby and connect with it, the skin on skin. And like,
Yeah.
there's just so many, and like being born in those bright fluorescent
Yes.
lights, like,
Yep.
And in that position, that's not
Laying down, yeah.
no.
Yes.
like
Yeah,
efficient.
Yeah,
And
and
my
cutting the cord right away, like that's another
oh
thing.
God. And like some
Yeah.
of like so someone I knew said that when their wife gave birth in the hospital, they delivered their last 4 kids, but one of in the hospital, the nurse was just like
Yeah.
aggressively like tugging, no love in it, just tugging.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And they're touching the baby with these gloved, cold ass,
Yeah.
nasty, tacky hands,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they pressed on my stomach to get my placenta out, and I was about to punch them. I was like, are you kidding me? Like they acted like it was a problem that
Yeah.
it wasn't coming out, when it can take a while for it to come out sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And they were literally like pressing on my stomach, and I was so ready to throw hands. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Do you know what I just went through? Because I went through
Yeah.
like 30 plus hours of labor.
They
Like,
did that
get
to
off
our,
of me.
yeah, they did that to our friend Liz. She was like the same way with her firstborn,
Crazy.
like 30 something hours of labor. She's like, and then she's like, I thought I was done. Like I held the baby for like a minute, and then this nurse came in, like punched her literally on the stomach and kept
Yeah.
punching her until it came out. She's like, that hurt worse than the child. And I was like horrified.
Jeez.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was like,
I have a friend who I don't remember exactly how many thousands of dollars they charged her to hold her baby right away.
mhm.
Oh
What?
God,
Yeah.
no.
I
Charged?
saw today
Like,
that
I-
someone got charged, the dad got charged skin to skin, $13,000.
It
Yeah,
just
something
gets more
crazy.
insane by the day. That's like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Jesus.
When
It's
she
like
said
your
it was right
child.
there, the
Yeah, it's
hospitals
your
are like
child.
money-making machines that just don't care about our health or
That makes me so furious.
It's
Oh my
disgusting.
God, that's
Yeah, and
gross.
then they like take it and they're taking its blood and giving it all kinds of shots and things.
Yeah.
pinching and
Yeah,
it's
fantastic.
disgusting. Mhm.
And they don't even discuss it with you. Like you're in any state, Liz, after you just gave birth, like, hey,
Yeah.
do you consent?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
you have no
drugged
idea.
up.
Yeah.
Right, you have no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, and
Yeah.
the hoops you have to jump through to not get your baby poked is absolutely insane
Mhm.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gross. Like, and then that's a huge reason why in this incarnation that I've never wanted kids. Like, just like it's so terrifying. Like everywhere you turn now, we're just being like bombarded with like toxins and everything. It's like if I had kids, I would be a 24/7 like anxiety nutcase, I swear.
Yeah.
Yep, but things are
I don't
getting
know how
better.
you guys do it in this world.
I mean, they chose to come here too, so.
Yeah.
Yes, they
kinda
did,
how I see
and
it.
things are getting better. And the little ones are here to help make it better. Like they're gonna raise it
Yes.
for the whole next generation. Are just gonna know all this stuff because we taught
Yeah.
them it.
Yeah, the ones being born right now are called the alpha generation, which I find.
Yeah.
Seriously? Oh, I haven't heard that yet.
Restart.
Okay, that's
Wow.
fantastic.
Well,
Oh,
and I like every year too, they're being born with more DNA activated, I've heard as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
oh,
awesome.
you're gonna have little magic babies, Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I believe it.
love
I mean, my due date is on this very special, apparently, day, with the whole truther movement. And then, I've got a synchronizing birthday for the first one.
I'm like, is that the big announcement that Donald Trump's gonna make?
I was thinking about, like,
I have a baby, guys.
Little starseed
Yep.
baby.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
We got a new baby in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I like talking about stuff like this because motherhood is such an important part of our culture. And a lot of people, I'm just like you are, Maren, but like I'm old now, so I can't have kids. But no, I didn't have kids. I always felt like I lost a child in a different lifetime. And I knew I couldn't take it again.
Interesting.
But I raise everyone else's kids. Like, it doesn't bother me. I can have everyone's kids over. And I'm like, I'm great with that. I love it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can tire them out and spend one-on-one time with them and not have to worry about all the normal crap of the day.
Mhm.
Yeah. The surrogate mothers, we need those.
Correct. Yes. But I think aunts need to step up to the plate, and the friends of the people who have kids. Cause like my niece that we were just talking about, like she was the first one of her friends to have babies. All her friends left her.
Mm,
Yeah.
So it's like, you have a
That's so
child now.
much.
They don't know what to do.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
I-
literally
It's so
takes a
crazy because
village.
I feel I always tell Liz this, but I feel guilty for not being there to help her during this
Me
time.
too. I
'Cause,
like,
you
I
know,
want to go fly and see Liz. You know?
No.
yeah, because it's like we're like sisters, and I feel like I'm like supposed to be there right now, and I'm like, why isn't anybody stepping up?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, me complaining about all my like family drama and then the lack of like help and whatnot that I have, and she's just like, "What the heck? What? This is ridiculous."
Takes a day off. Somebody needs.
Hey, Ava, we might be flying you to see Liz soon. Let's go.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Do it. She can come be my doula for like a month.
Absolutely, for like a month. I was
I'm
gonna
the
say
hype
like a
girl,
month
too.
to 2 months. That would be fantastic,
Dude, I would love that.
right? Think of the TikTok stories you guys could make with the baby.
Oh,
That
yeah.
too. We'd be all about that content.
I know.
Well,
It's so
and
crazy.
Levi
too.
would love it because it's so hard. My little brother was born 4 years after me, and I still remember when my mom was pregnant with him and when she brought him home, because I was kind of like, great, like another brother, and I was like, fantastic, I'm the only girl till I was 12, and then my mom had another girl, but that's okay. But I was like, so we're keeping him. And I still remember saying that to my, she's like, well, yeah, and I'm like, all right then, so we're keeping him.
Oh, all right. Are you
Okay.
the oldest, Mary?
I am the middle child. I'm the second
Oh,
oldest.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but so we made this game once my little brother could talk and run, we would chase him all over the basement.
Oh.
We called it Aaron Chase, and we changed the rules just so he would lose all the time. We didn't. We were horrible, but we had so much fun. But I'm like, it's so hard when you're. I think of Levi, like when the baby comes home, like he's going to be thrown a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. He's very used to being the center of attention,
Correct,
especially
but-
my attention.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like someone to like take the baby, or just to take Levi to do special things,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to keep him a little bit busy. So
Yeah.
he's not trying to hang on you along with the baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get it all
remember-
set up.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I remember my my oldest, because my daughters are closer and my son's like a big distance apart. And at first my oldest was like so loving, and then I think that sunk in of like, oh, she's here to stay.
Yeah.
And we co-slept, so I had like two queen side beds like pushed together. We just all slept together, and one day, she like was all like lovey-dovey with her, and then just like bit her on the cheek, like full on like bite marks were there, and I was like, what just happened? She's like, I don't want her here anymore.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yes, I've seen
Oh.
videos of that. That explanation makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, time to go.
Yeah, it's like, bye, I'm done with you. Like, and they're like, what do you mean you're here to stay? Like, I want mama. Like,
Hilarious.
I feel
Yeah,
like
but
as the youngest child, I was the one getting bit.
yeah, I'm the youngest too, and I got picked on. I have 3 older sisters, so
oh wow.
Yeah,
you,
I have 2 older sisters. Ava's got 2 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh, that's great. I'm here with all the babies.
All
Are you?
the babies. Tanya, are you youngest too?
I've got like half siblings, but between my brother and I am the youngest. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
All the
I'm the only
babies.
middle child. I'm apparently the oldest. Okay. We'll go with it.
Which is kind of funny that all of the youngest have YouTube channels.
I know.
Right?
I know. I think that's fantastic though.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I love that pregnancies become a little bit more open, even with like little ones around. Like you could tell your 3-year-old like what's going on, and you let him feel your stomach and everything. Like I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
I would totally have Levi here, like, or with me
Right.
during birth if he was a little older and he wanted to.
Correct.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
want it to be his choice. Like, I don't want him to get
don't
traumatized by
force it,
seeing me
yeah.
in so much pain. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you try to not be in pain.
Right.
But at the same time, like, you know, he's very concerned with me anyways. So I'm like, I think he's just a little too young. If he wants like next kid, if he wants to be
Next
there,
kid.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna force anything on him, especially him being a boy. But at the same time, I'm like, it'd be really great for you to be educated.
Oh my
about
God,
it.
that would be fantastic. His wife would love you forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you
my
looked into-
husband. Sorry.
Sorry, I have a lag. Sorry, guys, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say my husband like grew up watching his mom give birth. Like he's the oldest of 10. So,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
and you know, raised in a legitimate like village. And you know, hospitals were far away, and he's helped women, other women in the village give birth. Like it's
Yeah.
just very
It's their
normal.
everyday culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very okay. And just like, that's why I was very thankful when I even said that I wanted to do like home births and stuff. He was like, okay, you know, like just because we don't have the support here that
Right.
they have in Mozambique. And he knows that. And he knows that all the women help and are there and know what to do. But like, he's afraid. He's got the only afraid part he has is it just being me and him
Yep.
not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Even though he's seen it and experienced it plenty of times, you know, he still is like, you need other women, you need a team. I'm
Well,
like,
yeah,
"Right,
because-
I do.
Yeah. And you're his wife and he doesn't want anything to happen to you, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost, I kind of wish like his mom and some of his sisters could come
Oh my
over.
gosh.
That would
We
be
talked about
fabulous.
it. Yeah, I was like, I would love for your mom to be there. I would know everything was taken care of if your mom was here. I
Right.
would, we don't even speak the same language. We can't even speak
Mhm.
to each other really. You know, you kind of get the gist of what they're saying. And she kind of like we communicated that way, but not actually. But I was just like, I just know she would take care of everything. And I would,
Oh, she would. She would
Yeah.
mother you. Yeah.
yeah,
She would.
I'd be set. I would love that so much, but it's a very expensive plane ticket and
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And it's not the time. It's not the time for them to be here. No,
no,
definitely
not at all.
no,
Yeah.
they're better over there.
And
Yeah.
that's where that sacred sisterhood comes in again, right? Where it's like, even if you don't speak the same language, we like birth is birth, right? Like we're created to do this. And it's like,
Mhm.
you don't even have to speak the same language to have that support. And it truly does take a village. Like it's,
Yeah.
again, Western culture is so backward in so
Yeah.
many different ways.
I know, but
I was going to ask you, Liz, have you looked into placenta prints at all?
Yeah, actually, I discussed it with my midwife and I was like, she asked me because she was asking what we wanted to do with it. And I was like, I'm not really sure yet. I didn't actually like eat mine last time or encapsulate it.
Yeah.
We planted a tree with it instead.
that's super nice.
And
The placenta prints are really cool because you actually see the tree of life like in the placenta, like so taking it, whether you do it just with like the blood or some people will take like paint
yeah,
and paint it and then put it on the print, it's literally a tree of life. Like it's
Oh,
cool.
Oh, cool.
Maybe that then. So it's gonna be in
Pretty
our
magical.
freezer for until spring probably when we plant another tree. We're trying to plant trees for each kid.
I love that. My
That's
mom
cute.
did that for us. And one of them literally just fell over. So now I sit here and I'm
This
like,
This one that we planted, it broke from the wind and then
Yeah.
it was back. And I was like, Lazarus, that's its name.
absolutely. Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I was
No.
like, it's probably that placenta.
It probably really is. I mean, don't discredit it because
Yeah.
like earth, like lungs, they teach you like roots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. And I find it so weird though. Like, you know, everybody can be there when a cat gives birth or a
Right.
dog has puppies. No one has a problem with it. There could be 15 people there, but God forbid a mom wants help for like 24 hours, you know?
Yeah. It's very sad. And it's been a huge emotional roller coaster for me and of that, like just feeling very alone
Yep.
in this pregnancy. And like my family is very spread out and, you know, that in of itself is just hard. And then like, that's kind of the video I made, It Takes a Village, was kind of about, was just like, I used to think it was so cool to have like family all over the place and in all these different areas, and I could go visit, whatever. But now I'm like really wanting like community, like that
Yes.
sisterhood. I really
Yes.
want like that to be established, and I want it to be close
Right.
and daily, and having people that I can depend on and they can depend on me. And it's been a huge lesson and just like grieving process this pregnancy for sure, because I feel like the more kids you have, the harder it gets, especially when you don't have that village.
Yeah, but you're manifesting people to have a village now, which is quite
Yeah.
fantastic. Going forward, people are going to think about that, like get to know your friends, like live near them. Your
Right.
friends are family that you choose.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes they're closer than family, like you'd
Mhm.
rather count on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, most of my life, I've always counted on my friends more so than my family.
Yeah,
And,
same.
kind of regretting in a sense, like not keeping a lot of the friendships that I like once had growing up, like childhood
Yeah.
friendships that I thought would be lifelong friendships. I
They
mean, it's
never
not like
are.
anything happened. It just kind of like we grew apart kind of thing.
Yes, I was going to say,
We're-
because they never are lifelong friends, because you're always at a different stage in life. But yeah,
true.
just people that you can grow with, who will always be there, like the old neighborhoods,
Yeah.
like we talked about last time. I would love that.
I hope the world's going back into that direction, like
That's what I'm trying to manifest.
little communities with like local farms, like trading
Yes.
food, like everyone have a garden or even like a community garden. Like I think about that all the time. Like
Yep.
the world is it's nothing like it used to be, but I want to like go even further into it, like make it more normal, to just have
Yes.
that like everywhere instead of all these big concrete jungles,
Yeah, take the concrete down, plant more trees, have parks for the kids to go in.
Yes.
And you know what? Actual playthings, because your kid's going to get hurt. We don't care. No one's going to sue you because your kid fell off the swing. You're good.
Well,
You
yeah,
got bruised. You're good.
We're so disconnected from nature. It's like we are meant to be in nature, and
Yeah.
it's like that's why there's so many people that are overstimulated, because we're not getting the stimulus that we need from like grounding and actual like putting our bare feet on earth versus just
Does anyone have any tips for grounding in the winter? I feel like Tanya
Oh.
would, because it's like Canada.
I struggle with that like big time. I mean, I surround myself with plants. Like I've got quite a few plants in my house. So I spend a lot of time with my plants. This was the first year that I got one of the light therapy lights. So I use that like in the morning now. And then in the wintertime, I work a lot more with like with my crystals and essential oils, like things that I can do grounding.
even
like
taking a bath,
Yeah, exactly.
taking water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't stomping help? And then I think, Tanya, we talked about this last time in our chat. Because you have all the plants, even just like putting your fingers on the soil and
Yeah.
like, to it, because that's earth.
Yep.
Your plants are goals, by the way. Every time I see you in a video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that.
I love when you took us through a tour. Everybody was like, let's see it.
They struggle though too. Like, I mean, I have my lights on for them, but they struggle like because
they do. Yeah, they're like people.
Yeah, and it's literally like, I mean, they have a consciousness too. Like plants, they literally will, like if you cut them, they'll scream. Like they give off a frequency. If you think about like cutting grass and you smell that the smell of cutting grass, that's actually grass telling other grass that they're being cut. Like it's warning them. Like plants are amazing.
Sad.
Yeah, plants are amazing.
They really are.
You are.
It's all right. The grass is good. It's still good.
That is
It's
sad.
still good. Yeah, but they're just letting the other grass know. Like,
I think that's.
I mean, I don't cut my grass. I'm that neighbor that everybody hates.
There's a murderer here.
No, that's what I always think about, Tanya. I was like, because I don't own, I rent. But if I ever owned a house, I would be like that person with the long grass, because I would never want to cut it either.
Why don't you get a goat?
I was lucky that my landlord this year. Oh, sorry. What?
I was
miss
gonna say,
that
buy
too.
a goat and the goat
Yeah.
can eat the grass.
Exactly.
Yeah, or a cow. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's going back to the simplicity and going back to things like that's
Yeah.
where like, yeah, you don't need to be cutting your grass. And
Yeah.
my landlord this year let me turn part of my lawn into a garden, like garden boxes, which was amazing.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hopefully put more next year so I don't have to worry about people reporting me for not cutting my grass.
Oh, another thing you can do in the winter too is even if you sit in a window by like the sun, like even if you get sun through the window, like sunbathing is a really good form of grounding as well. So
Okay.
And I am barefoot all the time, Liz. I don't wear
Oh, yeah.
shoes in the house. I'm always barefoot. And if you can find a grounding mat,
Mm.
it's
Oh,
great. Like if you have to stand.
yeah,
Or
they
like-
make grounding like mattresses now and blankets. I think
Yep.
the mattresses
Yeah.
are really expensive, but I want to get one. I think it'd be a good investment.
Yeah, there's
you
bed
can also
covers.
get
Sorry.
sorry.
There's
Go ahead.
Okay, Tanya, your turn.
It's hard when there's so many.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
when Mary, when you mentioned the grounding mat, you can also get the pink Himalayan salt. You can
Yes.
get like bigger slabs of it, and it's usually not too expensive, but you can for grounding and just
Good girl.
standing on them.
put that in
Yeah.
my bath.
Yes, I do that. I do it in the shower. And now I got that fantastic scrub stuff that you were talking about that Ava told you about. My husband and I are gonna try it starting tomorrow.
Oh, bentonite clay.
For
Oh.
the armpit, the clay
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't wait
I
to
did
try it.
one
My
of those
husband's like,
today.
can I brush my teeth in that? I'm like,
Yep.
Liz says you can.
Yeah.
said,
I did that
"Just
right
put it
before our
there."
show, actually. That and charcoal.
But he loves, we got a fluoride free, I don't even know where we got it, but it's anise flavor. So it actually tastes like
Oh.
licorice. It's fantastic.
Interesting.
So he's-
And
I literally could just dip my toothbrush in. I'm like, you can use that clay for whatever you'd like, honey.
Yeah.
It's multi-purpose.
yeah,
You know?
I made my husband drink it the other day because he was complaining about a stomach ache, and he was like, "What?"
Did it
He's
take
like,
care
"Are
of
you
it?
sure?" I was like, "Yeah, it's literally clay. It's fine."
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be
It's-
fine. We're trying
It's
it.
like activated charcoal, like it absorbs all
Yeah.
the toxins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing that after this because I'm just like struggling
Mhm.
today, and I'm like, I'm taking that and charcoal today. I've never
Yeah,
done both
good.
together, but I'm like, I know charcoal is the truth, so I'm about to mix them
Yeah.
both. Go to
Yeah.
I
sleep.
love that Maren, that one time when we did a video, I think it was the three of us, me, you, and Ava, and because I had never done the
Oh,
activated charcoal in my bath. I don't know why. And then
Yeah.
you brought that up, and now that's my like go-to. It's like every time I'm
Yeah.
like done, open
It
them up.
does
Yeah, I
stay.
like it. It does stain. Yeah, you have to scrub your tub after, but yeah.
I learned that out after.
Yeah.
It's like my husband came in the other day, and I was taking a bath, and I had like really like murky looking water, and he's
Yep.
like, "Are you okay?" Just making sure I wasn't like birthing anything on my
Right.
own. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like looking at the water. He's like, "What is all that?" Hell, it's this.
Right.
Do I have to name all the ingredients?
It's like a big potion.
Yeah, literally.
It's freaking funny. Or you could have just been like, I was so busy all day. Look at how dirty I got.
yeah.
He would believe it, honestly.
He's such a good guy.
Hi,
You have a
cat.
cat?
It's my dog. This is Zion.
Oh,
dog.
Oh, I love that name.
I don't know if you can see him.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Hi, mister.
I know. Now-
Is
now-
that a Rottweiler?
He's a rescue, but they think he's a Rottweiler Shepherd like cross.
Oh, very
I
nice.
love Rottweilers. They're so
He
cute.
definitely has the Rottweiler like eyebrows and the bark.
Yeah. Love those
Yeah.
things.
They're great dogs. Oh, Ava, I'm
So
so
how
sorry.
like you guys kind of mentioned, I'm assuming I'm not the only one who got like rocked between this like blood moon and the 11/11 portal. Like you ladies too got like fully
Oh,
rocked.
dear God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still getting rocked by it.
Yeah, I'm still tired. Today was rough for me. I was tired today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
today I was awake, but like I told you guys, I was down all day
Mhm.
yesterday. I'm just like, oh my God, it was horrible. And
I
but
saw
I think the purging's done. So I think the emotional purging part's over.
Right now for me, my lower back has been wonky for a few days, which I heard is a big symptom. I'm really
Huge.
bloated, stuffy,
Yep.
and I'm not like sick. I'm just stuffy for no reason. But yeah, my lower back has been going through it for like days.
Me too.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And I just like, I keep thinking something's wrong. And then it's so funny because like I'll be in my head and I'm like, okay, like, is something else wrong? And then I'll get online and see like hundreds of people are like, my back hurts and it's like
Yeah.
ascension symptoms. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's a
okay,
huge,
okay.
yeah, a huge ascension symptom. That
I was-
or yeah, go ahead, Liz.
No, I was just texting Ava. I was like, spiritually pregnant, physically pregnant.
Right.
You're in the end stages where we're done, we're over it.
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
there.
me. It was yesterday. I forget the other day. I spent like the whole day in my onesie because it was so cold, and I literally looked like 3 months pregnant. Like the bloat, I was like, whoa, like. And Mary,
I've
when
been
you were
so
talking
bloated.
about the body stretching, I was
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what it is. Like, I feel like it's like, what's happening to my body?
Yeah, because
Like,
they keep showing me like Stretch Armstrong. I don't, you guys might be too young, but we used to have like Stretch
Yeah.
Armstrong dolls.
I
you know,
remember.
like, oh my God, they were fantastic. And I'm like, everybody's going through like these growing pains. And like, I'm physically seeing us like grow out of our bodies. And I'm like, well, that's super interesting and super
Uh-huh.
painful.
Yeah, I had chills. I had chills around. It like hit me all at once around 2 or 3 today. And I was
Yeah.
trying to take a nap and I was freezing. I was like, I gotta get in the bath. And so
Yeah,
did
but that's
that,
good.
laid down. And like when I've been laying, and I've said this before, I'm not a person who is normally achy and pains and oh, this hurts. And like that's not normal for me. But my right hip has been giving me issues for a couple months. Then it's gone down to my knee. But I also think it's because it's been really locked up for several years. And I know that's a very like a lot of energetic stuff that I've been holding. And I've been doing deeper and deeper stretches. And like finally I had this crazy pop. Like my hips pop like crazy anyway. But that one was just like, and then my knee started hurting. Which
Yeah, you
made
kind of
me,
threw yourself out of whack.
well, I think things are shifting back into place because there's a hip flexor that attaches to the hip and the knee. And I think that's the one that like shifted so that the femur can go back in place. But now I'm really achy. And then when I was laying in bed tonight, my other hip started to hurt too. And then when we've been talking, my shoulders started aching and like my womb is aching. I'm like, what is going on? Right?
Joint aches are
we're
a big
having-
one.
Yeah, and we're having
I-
sympathy pains with Liz.
yeah,
That's what I was
right.
wondering.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
I'm contracting, having back pain right now, like crazy.
Yes,
Well,
I know, I could tell by your face. Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
every tarot reader,
like, help me.
everyone I've been listening to for months, just like card readers online are
Yeah.
just like rebirth, the world's going through a rebirth. I don't know how many times I have heard that from so many different people. So
Yeah.
it's real for sure.
Yes, and I think it's going to be coming sooner than most people think, which is great because I still kind of get things wrapped up by the end of this year, which is fantastic. They might be put into place beginning of next year.
Yeah.
So I hope.
It's funny that, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying it's funny that you said, because I landed out taking a bath in the middle of the day today too, because it was like, and like usually I wait till my kids are all in bed, but today it was just like, I have to, like, I'm not gonna be able to get through this day. I had my cannabis bath salts. I'm like, dump those off.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's a wrap. Y'all can wait. I'm getting in this bath.
Yeah, I was like,
You know
I'm
where the
sorry,
cereal
guys.
is.
I'm like,
Like,
you guys gotta do your own school right now.
Right.
I gotta.
I actually had the urge to do that too. I woke up thinking I was gonna like take a bath with my son because I wouldn't be able to take a bath on my own. So
Right.
I was like, do I want to actually do that? I don't know. I ended up not doing it, but it's funny they were all like baths.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I would love to, but my tub is it's so deep, and with my MS and stuff, I can't get. I can get in there just fine. Dear God, getting out is like, ooh,
Yeah.
like here we go. Because I always forget too that I'm like 54 now. I'm not like a spry chicken. But no, like I'll go to get up, and my husband, God love him, I love him, but sometimes it's just like all you gotta do is stand up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
theory, that's
that's
awesome.
fantastic. Of course, that's all I gotta do. Of course it is.
tell that to my
Why
body.
didn't I think of it?
I know. I'm like, of course, it's all I got to do is just stand up. Like I didn't think of that the first couple of times. So I take salt showers now, which are
Mhm.
fantastic. If you can't,
Yeah.
like you, Liz, in your position,
Mhm.
it's fantastic to do that too.
Oh, I take a salt bath twice a week. My set
Good
days,
girl.
Wednesdays
Good
and
girl.
Saturdays.
Oh, that Wednesday.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always like, I can't record on this day. I have to take a salt bath.
Nothing wrong with that. I like that you have boundaries.
Well,
You know,
that bats are really grounding too, so it's perfect for winter. Yeah.
That's good to
literally,
know.
I just was saying, you said salt and selenite came into my mind, and they're showing me like a selenite baby mobile. I wonder if anyone makes that.
That's cute. That'd be
I-
Oh
so
my God,
good.
that would be fantastic. We need to make one.
There's
I
one
have like
shout out
a
to
similar
Maren.
one for
Oh.
my son. The bottom part is selenite, and then
Yeah.
it's got like a part that, and it's got it has citrine, clear quartz, and then amethyst that hang from it.
Oh,
Oh,
that does
that's
not suck.
cool.
Where did she get that? Do you know?
I had got it for him at a crystal, like it was this like pop-up crystal thing, and I saw it, and I was still pregnant at the time, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm buying that.
Yeah, because like I
It's
think
not a
you're gonna,
mobile, like it's not, I mean,
no, but just to have in the baby's room, that's quite nice to get rid of, clear the energy.
Yeah.
They come in so innocent and clear. We don't want to
Yeah.
taint them right away anymore.
Yeah. I honestly
seen-
just let Levi play with all the big ones. Like
Yeah.
they're his toys, they're his rocks. Is what he-
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I think
yeah,
that's
I still
awesome.
co-sleep with my son, and we've got like crystals we've talked about that before. Like I got crystals all in my bed, so he'll wake up and he's always like, what's looking to see what crystals are in the bed.
So
And he's
cute.
got his crystals on like his side of the bed, so sometimes he'll swap them out, and yeah.
That's
So
cute.
cute.
It's a great way to learn about natural healing and what's going to soothe and how to keep, what's nice is a lot, ugh, if I could speak, a lot of the icky darkness stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Mm.
It just like it left a couple weeks ago. It's like so low lying darkness that I'm not even that concerned about it. Isn't that weird?
People
You-
keep saying that. So how
Do
can
you feel that too, Ava? I just don't feel like it's as dense anymore.
I felt that like it's maybe like a year ago, I felt like we shifted, like it was
Hmm.
just lighter. I don't really know how to explain it, but I mean, there's so much chaos that keeps continuing to happen, like in like the mainstream. So who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like,
psyops?
but you
Yeah.
can tell. I don't know. The energy is just different, and it's because we're a mass ascension and awakenings happening.
Yeah,
So-
but I think it's going to be sped up because I think a lot of that's been taken over. I don't know how else to say that. Like it's been taken over. The media's been taken over. And I think there's about to be a big reveal of that.
Hmm.
Every card I pulled last week was like the media going down.
That's interesting. I had a dream like 2 or 3 nights ago that this like a bunch of us were outside. I don't know, I didn't recognize anyone who I was with. It was just like a bunch of people. There wasn't like faces, but we were outside and it was cloudy and the sky opened up almost like in Hunger Games, and it
Yeah.
turned into a big TV, and we all just stopped and got silent, and it's like we knew that there was some truth coming, and then I woke up.
Fantastic.
That's all I remember. So I was like, I hope this dream is, because I have a lot of dreams my whole life that come true, but they're usually small and meaningless and like nothing.
Oh no,
But,
you've
so-
awoke to your gifts now. So they're gonna start coming true.
I
I
hope
love
so.
It's gonna happen because that's the only way anyone's ever gonna get through to the normal.
Well, and I feel like it's gonna be hard. It would be hard to move forward. I mean, there's a lot of people that think that's never gonna happen. Like it's gonna just be slowly over time. But
It's
I
not
don't-
gonna be.
I
They've
don't
gone
think
through
that we
so-
can move forward with these people who are literally siding with the enemy. Like, how do we move forward from that unless
because
they know?
Yeah, that's why I said I think media is going to be taken over and the truth might be put right in their face. And what are they going to do when they're faced with that? It's going to be kind of like,
Right.
God, I forget YouTube, pardon me. Tower moment, much like what happened in New York City a long time ago.
Mm.
Like, and
Yeah.
that's going to bring
Oh,
people
okay,
together
okay. I
as
was
like a
like, oh.
collective. Like we're going to be like, holy crap, we all lived through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we
yeah,
all
people.
know it. And yeah, a lot of people are going to be coming out saying like, how, what?
Yeah.
Like, how did you know all this? But I was asleep the whole time and we're going to be there. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling like just a random series that's on another platform like Rumble or BitChute called The Fall of the
Oh
will be
yeah.
playing
Yep.
for people
Yeah.
and then bring them up to speed really quick. And then I think you'll see justice and karma come around.
So I have a question on like these kind of lines, I guess, of like,
Yeah.
how are you ladies doing when you get like sucked into back into the 3D in areas where you're kind of like, you can't just step away from it, like, you know, certain things, whether it be exes or to get into more detail, I guess, for me, with, you know, even fighting these bogus tickets, right? Of like, I know they're going to be taken care of. Like, I know, I just know, I've known that for a long time that I don't know
Right.
how or when, but they're going to be taken care of. But it's the process of like putting this energy into going to court and like all these different things. And it's like, why? This is like the last thing I want to be putting my energy towards, or like, you know, finding out things about things that are going on with my son, you know, and it's just like, when, okay, like when,
Yes.
how do you guys deal with those kind of things? And just like all the injuries too, like at my work, a daily basis, it's nonstop.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate because I am home and I've been home, but like I had the people the other day. Like I told you, like I
Hard.
wore my awake shirt and it was so hard because people are like, oh, well, what does that mean? And I'm like just sitting there looking at him like, for real? And I wore my sunglasses on purpose. And my husband laughs at me because I'll go in the store with my sunglasses on. He's like, take them off. I'm like, no. And he's like, why? I'm like, because I will roll my eyes at people. And like,
I know.
my sunglasses are on.
I know what you mean, Tanya, though. It's hard.
Like sucked into it.
Yeah. So my mom is really sick right now. And it's hard because there's, you know, and I'm guilty of doing this too, like trust the plan and the divine timing and everything. But it's like, if there really is stuff like these med beds and all this technology that they're hiding from us, it's like, well, people are like really sick right now from that thing as well that's going around. Like, if we have this technology, like what the F are we waiting for? Like people need it now. Like, so it can be, so I know exactly what you mean. Like it's hard to not get sucked back into that, like that mindset and get mad and angry. But then what helps me is I always just have to tell myself, like, it's not my path. Like my mom chose that, she needs that lesson. And because I can be such a control freak. So I just have to like, I can't, there's nothing I can do. Like it's her path. It's not mine. And,
Right.
and if she chose, you know, to get sick in this moment in time, I have to trust there's a reason why,
Right.
you know? So
and it's super hard. And I'm sorry that she's sick, Maren. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a sudden thing. So that's also kind of why I've been a little MIA off YouTube. But yeah, like I said, there's only so many things you can do to like guide someone and help them. But at the end of the day, it's her belief system, it's her path. It's she has to do her inner work. And you know, unfortunately for a lot of people, they don't inner work, they don't even know what that means. So
where to start.
No, and once they wake up, I think people are gonna realize, hey, there's a lot that's gonna come to, I think triggers is a good word. A lot of triggers will come up for a lot of people.
Like, good luck, because them OGs who been in it for a while, we got the stripes already, y'all.
Yeah, because I always say, I'm like, we're gonna have to hug 90 million people. They gave me like 90 million, and I'm like 90 million. They're like 90 million people. I'm like, holy crap, 90 million people. Fantastic.
That are leaving?
Huh?
No, that are leaving 90 million?
No, that we're gonna have to hug and help out of this.
I don't know what inner work is. They haven't done anything.
It's like, I'm going on year 9 of shadow work. I'm done. I'm sick of the shadow work.
Right? But like we're gonna have to kind of steer them. That's why I'm like, I have a feeling we're gonna be kind of like preschool teachers are now, like where they just sit the kid in front of the
and I think that's
here
that's
you go. Instead of Sesame Street, here's Fall of the Have Fun. It's 1 through 20.
Like
I'll
apple
be back
juice
in
and
2
vanilla
days.
wafers, like to eat while they're watching.
right?
And here's a puke bucket because you might need to throw up.
Right. And here's an apple and water. Trust me, that's all you're gonna want to eat after you're done doing about all of this.
Oh
Have
my
fun.
God.
We'll check in on you. You just take a nap. Here's a way to
You're right.
because it will ground you.
I was about to
I
say
mean,
grounding blanket.
I definitely think that's why we woke up first. I think
It
there's a
is.
reason for that. Yeah.
And we all have platforms that are putting some sort of truth, whether it's holistic, like towing the line along the mainstream stuff and whatnot, and putting like things out to jog people's minds and like teaching them to be their own healer. And like, look, you got to take care of your crap, you know, because nobody's here to do it for you. We're here to love you through it because we're doing it too. But it's like, this
and
is
like
the time to
we'll
stand
help
up
you.
and take responsibility.
Yeah, we'll help you so far, but we can't do the whole thing for you.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, and it's so important too that you said, you know, to teach them how to heal, because we can't ever, and this is how like it is now, like people worship these doctors and put them on pedestals. And it's like, we're not saying, hey, come to me, I'm going to heal you. And I'm not saying people can't do that. Like people can physically lay their hands on you. I mean, that's what Reiki is. But I mean, what we do is teach people how to heal themselves. Like, this is what worked for me, and here's what I did, and maybe it'll work for you. You know, teach people how to heal themselves, because that's the most empowering thing you can do, is learn how to take your own, you know, health into your own hands.
Yeah. That's one reason why I talk so much about the tie between energetic stuffiness in our body and like holding on to like packed in traumas and anger and fears and all this stuff, and how it manifests on a physical level. You know, that's one reason why I felt so led to read The Body Keeps the Score, because it's all about that. And that right there, just starting to take care and learn to listen to our bodies and learn how to take care of our meat suit and learn that, oh, this is aching, like what, like tuning into that and being like, maybe I need to give myself more love or more grace or something. And looking up, Liz and I look up all the time, spiritual meaning of.
Yes, me too. I'm obsessed.
Look that stuff up. That is the easiest way to start.
I do that all the time.
Right. And a lot of times it resonates and like, whoa, that makes total sense. And then you go from there. So that's like literally one of the easiest ways. If you're having right shoulder pain, look it up. A lot of times shoulders about carrying stuff, like feeling overburdened, or you know, maybe even, I'm thinking of like, I don't even know if this is true, but I'm thinking of like being like Stretch Armstrong, like being pulled in too many different directions.
We are.
I don't know that.
And we're growing. It's like growing.
And we're like in two different timelines and dimensions at once.
We keep jumping, and it's messed up.
And especially as women like us, we operate in two realms. So we're like feet between two realms, you know, almost like a bridge for people. So
that makes me think of something that this teacher I listened to has said. He's like, you know, when people talk about stretching times, it just means they're like resisting going in one direction or the other. I was like,
maybe that makes perfect sense, because maybe people are resisting it and they just don't know. Like they're so excited, but they think they're just
so many people are resisting the awakening. I can attest to that, because there's people like in my close personal life that like they were like starting to wake up in 2020 and they forced themselves back to sleep. Like I watched them do it.
Oh dear God. Oh my God. That's so sad.
They just don't want, they don't want to know, because it's like deep down they know that it's true. So if they face that, then they have to face that, you know, half of their world is a lie, and people don't want to do that.
And take responsibility. Like then you have to start taking responsibility for like your whole life, like everything, you know, just like Ava said, like then you got to listen to your body and listen to your intuition. And the more that you do that and stand in your sovereignty, you also got to then like responsible for everything that you do. So
I totally have dipped into that, where I'm like, I don't want to learn anymore, because I don't want to be responsible for any more. This is enough.
I did that this morning. Someone on TikTok that I oddly got hooked on, thanks Liz, so I don't even remember what the video was about, but they're like, do you want to go down a rabbit hole? And here's me course I do.
Yeah.
And like 3 hours later, we're still sitting there on the couch, my husband and I, and I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I gotta meditate. I'm going upstairs. I gotta meditate. Like, why?
Saging yourself.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, yes. And then like I figured out the sage just isn't right. It just isn't right. I don't know what it is. It doesn't burn. So I got a new lighter. I got Zippos. The old traditional Zippo lighters actually work.
That's working.
The
Okay.
ones that are like a torch, like where you gotta
Yes,
just
basically it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a torch.
Yeah.
Mary's here
Yeah.
with her.
Like burn, just burn, sage burn,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, mine's been crazy too. Like, oh my gosh, Mary.
Yeah.
I have a really funny story for you about some of the sage that you sent me, girl.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Was it not
Okay.
safe?
So
was
I'm
not
living with
safe.
my Christian parents, all right? And it's already kind of weird for me to be up there like
All right. All right.
burning. I lit the big one.
Yes. How
Like-
did it smell? It's cedar.
Are you sure, girl? Because I was like, oh shit. And I had to put it out and I opened it smelled like straight weed. I was like,
Okay, I have not burned mine yet. I haven't burned mine yet. It was sold to me on the pretense of being cedar for
she's like, you want a party?
right.
I got a
Very
slight buzz too.
I
And I was
love that.
like,
I love that. That's hysterical. But no, I would never do that to you. I apologize. No, that's freaking funny though.
and it stuck too, because you know how sage, like,
Yeah,
can
it'll
open the
linger.
windows.
Yes.
That stuff was in it to win it. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God, that's, I wish I would have known that. When our
Love
friend moved into a place, I told him to, burn some sage, like buy some white sage and bless your house. He
Yeah.
bought all this dried sage, but like bundles, like from a plant. He lit it all and walked through his house.
Oh shit.
My in-laws came over. He's like, they looked at me like, what the hell are you doing in here? Like all the windows were open. He's like, it was like I was the biggest stoner on the block.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, because I haven't burned mine. I got a huge one here, and I'm like,
It's
oh,
okay. But I smelled it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
really
she told me
smell
about it.
hey
Yeah,
now.
I sent her a video. I'm like, girl,
This is
what
that.
Mary trying to do to me right here?
Mary's trying to
It-
get back.
The cedar sage is technically for prosperity. I didn't know they
Yeah.
meant like to sell it.
And that's why I lit it up. I was like, look, bring in all the prosperity right now. 'cause
Right? I'm like,
yeah.
we're gonna have one heck of a reading tonight. You have no idea.
I love it.
Probably
so
really
funny.
interesting.
I
That's
mean,
freaking funny. I'm sorry. That is funny
it's
though.
okay.
Ava, you want to
yeah.
answer the 3D question?
Oh,
what?
We
about
kind of
how we're
rabbit
handling,
trailed off.
about how we're handling staying in,
Yeah.
staying centered and stuff. What you mean about like today?
No, I'm just in general.
A lot of it for me has been observation at this point because I'm being a lot more social after being like Cinderella for like a year. So I'm like saying yes to going out and just being social and having that fun energy. Because I
You're
didn't
more like Rapunzel.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, we're trapped in a tower by a dragon too.
Yeah.
And so I've just been out and it's like it's really nice people that I'm with and it's fun and everything. Excuse me, but I'm also seeing like glimpses of a life that I'm not trying to like perpetuate and stay in. But then I'm also just like being in the moment and like, okay, this is good because it's like some levity and it's taking the heavy energy that I moved through. And then it also like I've had to be really aware of like triggers and when I start to feel like judgy or something and I'm like, no, that's something like you're literally out here like bar hopping too, like you're literally out here like I don't know, because we're going to like a lot of live music and like this one street with a bunch of different bars and like doing brunch and just like going around being out and just
Oh, I have friends that would love to be where you are. They're so upset because nothing's come back in New York. It's very tyrannical. Still.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
That
That's still
is
like
like-
that.
Yeah, nothing's come back here. Like I feel like I live in Georgia again. It's kind of
That's
cool.
crazy.
I don't mind it. Like everything closes by 9 and nothing's open on Sundays. And
Yeah.
people don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, here you go. Stay home. Get your group
Yeah.
together.
That in like sports, because like for instance, we went to one of the couple's house Saturday night to
Yep.
watch the fights, and first before that it was college football, and I'm like, that's 8 hours of my life I will never get, because we're there from like
Yes.
4 till like midnight after the main card, and
Yep.
I'm sitting there like on my phone like
She's like, I'm here.
I'm
Well,
like,
and that's the thing, like we're literally, that's how we're living in like 2 different timelines. It's like we go home and we're all like, if you're anything like me, like I'm just always researching the spiritual topics and in that little world, and then I have to go to like, I work at a concert venue, like you said, and people are out, and it's like then I have to step into that version of myself, but it's like, but I try not to, like, I don't know, it's like I judge myself, but then I have to let go, and then I'm like, just enjoy the moment and like know why you're put there, and then it's like, so it's like going back and forth.
Yeah, and like for me, it's being very mindful and like staying aware of the fact that like I don't have to adopt these things, and like I'm awake to it. It's all fixed, like all the fights, the games or whatever, and people are like living for it and wearing my jersey, and I got to put my hat on for this craziness, and it's like, you know, same thing as the gladiator games. It's the exact same thing.
It really is. Yes.
Let us entertain you.
Yes.
Give the people give the people entertainment and food, and they will never rebel.
Yeah.
And here's me in the middle of the game. I will give tribute. Like, let's just be over. I will pay you tribute. Let's go.
That's so funny.
It's so hard. I don't know how you guys do 3D world. And I even said that to my husband when he was working, because he's very awake. So like he came up the other day and he's like, I'm not sure what to do about medical. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's like, no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm totally understand what you're saying. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I heard
He's like
Eva said, I was hermiting. I finally just, started going back, like out sometimes with my friends or whatever, just recently, but like since 2020, but I didn't want to, like, I wanted to stay home. I was just like doing more shadow work, dark night of the soul stuff, but it's like, it's just hard. I'm coming out more now, but it's so hard being around people when you like, it's literally 2 different worlds. They are in a completely different reality, and it's bizarre. And small talk like hurts my soul. I can't do it.
Yes, I thought it was me because I'm very personal. Like people they flock to us no matter where we are. For instance, we were standing in Kohl's to do a return. I got asked like where something was. So I was like, all right, I have no idea. I don't work here. And I try not to judge it, and they were trying to be nice and everything, but I do, and that's hence why the sunglasses came back out. I'm like, I will roll my eyes at people, and that's not good.
I know.
Because I'm like, what part of me says I work at Kohl's? I'm like here standing in jeans with a jacket on. I'm like, I don't know anything about this store.
You're just so approachable.
Yeah, they just have a subconscious need to talk to you. Yeah,
they do, and they like flock. And if my husband and I are together, I've said this before, Tanya, like they flock to us, like, oh, hello. Like we went to California once. We were in the Sacramento Mall. They're like, well, where is this? And we're like, hi. We have no idea. We're from New York.
Moth to a flame, Mary. It's your bright light.
It is. And I like it. And usually I can deal with it and talk, but like people wanted to small talk at the restaurant. I was like, that's nice. Eggs, please.
Small talk, like it's just so hard for me.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, because
I'm still in hermit mode. Like I still can't, other than going to work, which like I'm thankful that I work in an amazing place, like the naturopath office, but it's also we're seeing all the injuries. It's like I go home and I'm just like, I'm done. I need to like cleanse and clear and just and I just want to and then that's when I'm doing a lot of my like healing on people and stuff too. And it's like I just want to stay in that world. Like, I just want to, like
sorry.
No, go ahead, Ava.
That was a question I was kind of going through my head about with in dealing with the 3D stuff, and like say there's people that you someone might really get along with, and they've like kind of been there throughout the transitions, and it's not necessarily a toxic situation, and the person's like borderline awake, because I have my oldest friend from 7th grade, she's like one of my sisters, and she's been there, but she's also very like social justice warrior with Black people and this, and very like just like, I need to make, and stuff like that. So my question with that is, I've been putting out so many affirmations for like Soul Tribe, divine connections, divine love, like people that understand me. How do you all feel about those type of interactions, or people who are like teetering right there, and whether or not they can like finally fall in, and it's like, okay, now I'm sure that you're Soul Tribe, because like you've been kind of like out here on the, like let's say with the whole wake up shock thing.
Yeah.
And it's like they come back. So it's this question of like, is this person Soul Tribe or not? Because like, why are they still around me? And like we still are friends and supporting each other and stuff. But still like very different views when it comes to a lot of stuff. But then like the religious stuff, like there's some awakening there that's, so
It's soul contracts. It's whatever everybody's soul contract is. And it depends what timeline they're on too, when they're going to awaken. It's like my little brother's kind of like that. He's kind of awake, but like he's awake enough to know to ask me before he ever did it. And he did it. And he's the only one in the family that's had side effects from it.
Wow.
So now he's asking me to keep scanning his body and letting him know where all the clots are. And I'm like, well, I can do that. I don't, it's hard because he's like awake, but he also doesn't want to do any of the shadow work. He just, like a lot of people do with me, or like when you read cards, Ava, you saw it. They want you to give them the answer. And I'm like, I can help guide you to what the answer is, but I'm like, he doesn't want to do the work.
Yeah.
So I have that too. And that's family, and that's so hard because your friends are like family.
See, I think this is the gap between like having that spiritual awakening, I think is separate from like, there's so many people right now who are just waking. And I know for me, this is where my awakening started 10 years ago, was big pharma, was the corruption in the government, was all of that. And like, so a lot of people are in those rabbit holes right now. And like I say this in all of my videos too, I feel like the rabbit holes all lead in a circle, and they eventually somehow, some way lead you to spirituality.
They do.
So it's like, I feel like a lot of people just aren't there yet. So when you try to tell them like the mind connection to being sick as well, like, like Ava was saying earlier, like how everything connects. I'm a firm believer in thinking, sickness starts in the mental first and then manifests as a dis-ease in the body. So if you try to explain that to people and they haven't had that spiritual awakening yet, it's like that disconnect. So they don't really know, like, so that's when you kind of have to give them like the physical things, like the herbs and the heavy metal detox and all of that, until they can come around to like that spiritual connection. If they will, or, it, like Mary said, if it's in their soul contract too. But I think that's like a big part that's missing in so many people.
And a lot of people don't even know they have soul contracts. So we have to.
Well, a lot of people don't know or believe they have a soul either.
No, I
even,
know.
so.
I know. Like my nephew's like that. And I'm like, come on, wake up. Like, I'm like, wake up. Like, you're 32. Come on, wake up.
There's also like soul ties that you can make with people that are good and bad.
Correct. Yes.
And I mean, I've had plenty of people in my life, like I said, like the friendships that have come and gone that I thought would stay around, and then their path just kind of like didn't line up with mine anymore.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, well, now I have to deal with this like tie connection between us where we were like giving and taking from each other constantly, and that doesn't really like need to be there anymore because we're not really in communion essentially with each other.
Correct.
In the way
that's where like cutting cords and soul contracts and stuff right now is so big. Like I feel that's coming up like a lot, and I've had to like continue, like something comes up, it's like, okay, I need to like work at like cutting that contract, that cord, the hook, whatever it is that is there.
And I mean, it doesn't always have to be like a toxic thing you're dealing with. No. Like, like you could have a friend that's just been a friend for forever, and then you just kind of drift apart and you're like, well, I guess that was our time. Now I just have to cut that off, And I mean, I I feel like, I don't know, everybody's kind of on, obviously, everybody's on their own path. And it's just kind of, you can't force people into anything. Like it's also, they won't wake up, like you can't just tell them, you have to show them,
Right.
kind of thing. And so until it's worth it to them and means something to them, nothing's gonna happen. In my opinion, it has to, like, they have to get to a point in their life where they're sick and tired of whatever they have in this arena, like like Maren said, like being lied to about being poisoned, basically, like in everything. It's like, I'm sick and tired of that. I'm done with that. They have to get to this place where they're done with their current reality, so they look for a new one.
And I think that's where we are globally too, which is why this movie we're watching is getting crazier by the day, because people, they don't believe it until they are shown. Like they had to be shown, like, this is what these people wanted for us.
Right.
It's such a slow drip.
Yeah, and I hate it. The slow drip, like, I don't have fear about the future at all, but the slow drip, I wouldn't say scares me. It angers me though, because it leaves room for them to make excuses, which they're already doing. Like, we want amnesty for what we said during blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, no. And it's just like, it's scary to think that they can be like, oh, we didn't know that the shots were bad. We're sorry. And the people will believe them. Like, it can't, we can't do that.
Right. But it also gives us a great opportunity to deal with our own triggers of why that's so triggering to us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a little circle.
Yeah,
Right.
Seriously. And I've definitely been having to learn to scale back what I'm want to just be like, drop truth about, because it's like you said, Liz, people are gonna wake up when they wake up. Like, you can't, like, walking into somebody's room and like blaring music in their ear and like shocking them out of sleep is not the way to do it. It's like a gentle process. And then whether or not they choose to get out of bed is like one thing, but I'm having to really just be like, that's not my job to just drop that on them. When they're ready, they'll come. If they come to me, if it's whatever. And just like when the student's ready, the teacher appears. And like, I've also been very traumatized around that, because I had a relationship when I first moved back to Dallas in 2020, and that was one of those where it ended, like, because of such different beliefs, and it was very abrupt. Like, no, that was like, but I also feel like that was a huge activation for me, like huge activation. And it's just like, I don't have to say anything, like we're going to attract the people that are on our frequency, and then the people that are like kind of floating around kind of close, and then they're like, oh, let me put that feeler out because I have questions. But like, I had somebody ask me about flat earth stuff the other day, and then
I love those questions.
Go straight into like, well, and then like real ready to just like buck about it. And that for me, this is something that I need to work on, is just like staying centered, and that like automatically brought up all of the issues around that relationship and how I felt betrayed and like not heard and all this other stuff and left. And, so that's a lot for me to work through too.
I mean, kind of like what you were just saying, it's I think it's like an act of love and dying to self and ego to stay quiet.
Yeah.
Like, in the
really
sense of not giving people more than they can handle. I mean, obviously, like, you're not their discernment compass, whatever you want to call it, but at the same time, like, when people are just not going to be receptive to something, because like, you telling them just kind of creates more chaos and distance between you two. And so like, one of the greatest things that you can do is keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
And
like when you
let them come to it on their own.
Correct. And I always go back to, and everyone forgets this, it's going to be biblical. People have to find it on their own, and the ending's not for everybody.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of making YouTube videos. Sorry, Gypsy.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
The beauty of YouTube is, we can put that out there, and then whoever is searching out that topic is searching out the topic. You know, we're not, I know for me, like, I'm not just randomly sending like my videos, people like, watch this, you know, that's what
Yeah.
YouTube is great for. When people are ready, they'll search you and find you.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Right. And boundaries, that goes right into boundaries too, Ava, what you were just talking about. Cause like, that's a big boundary for us to learn too. Like we can't always, I'm a huge helper, middle child. It's, I want to help everybody. And I try, but like, I can't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
can't
so-
save everyone.
Yeah.
you can't, and you can't drain all your energy trying to save all of them because you'll have nothing.
And it's a protective thing too, like protecting from the acidity that might come back
Correct.
from somebody who comes almost to poke, or even if they're not poking and they genuinely want to know, but then they're asking and like ready to like buck up because they can't keep up with what's being told to them. Even though they might
Right.
want to know, they're still quite ready. And yeah.
Well,
So
people can only meet you like at where they're at, right? So if
Mhm.
they're not, like, it doesn't matter what you show them, what you tell them, if
Yeah.
they're not truly ready for it, they're not gonna,
They're
it's
not
not
gonna
gonna do anything for them, right? It's planting seeds, but it's not gonna, like, unless they're truly ready for it, it's not. And I remember when because I was so big in the truther community here, I like full mama bear, like all that. I remember when I started to like really wake up spiritually, like you were saying, Maren, like, you know, it is really like there's so many different things. Like 15 years ago I started, but when the spiritual, like that's where everything really like propelled.
Yeah.
And I remember like doing this video. So many people in that group were like so mad because I was saying like it's not our job to wake people up. Like it's you know, you're wasting so much energy like trying to like wake people up. And it's like I was trying to say like about, you know, share your truth, like you just said, Maren, like still share your truth, but don't force it on people.
Mhm.
Again, like soul contracts, free will, all of that like ties in. I mean, people just got so mad. I mean, a lot of it is the religious aspect too, right? Where they're just like, they're in that whole like, well, there's only
Preach the
one way.
gospel.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Like this
that's
is the
gonna
only
be,
way. So
yeah, that one's gonna be the hardest for people to go through. Wow. I
oh
can't,
yes.
oh, that's gonna be so hard. And
That's
that's when
the head
people are
of-
gonna need us the most. And we're gonna be like, oh,
I
all
know
right,
I've been
let's go.
not terrified, but just like so concerned for the
Uh-huh.
church community.
Correct.
Like I'm
Yeah,
I mean, I still like in a sense am a part of it in
Yeah.
some ways, but like at the same time I'm just quiet. I just
Right.
don't
right.
you know, unless I feel like they're ready or they're asking questions, then I'll tell them what I really believe about things. But you know,
Right.
it's yeah, I just like, I mean, even the sense of like the savior complex, like that's where a lot of truthers and whatnot have with everything right now. And I'm like, you're playing God. I don't think
Yeah.
you
And
realize
it's
that.
and that's not gonna end well for them either.
That's not,
so,
yeah, that's not good karma.
Yeah. And I've always, I don't know why, but I've always gotten that religion's probably going to be the last thing that they expose.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are going to need something to grip to, and you have to. Like, you can't pull
Mhm.
everything.
it's the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, but
There is.
yeah, they need it though. People, and you still have to believe in God and Creator and Source, and people they haven't done their shadow work, don't know you can just do that without the religion.
Yeah.
Right. That we all have
Catholic, like I
it's
don't gotta,
within us. Yeah.
right, like I don't have to pray to 12 different saints to get to God. I'm super good just talking to them.
Right. I have a question around Mary, what you asked about feeling like negative or evil energy, like I guess the main ones are gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say to people who are so caught up in there's a demon around every corner and we need to call out Satan and blah 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 and it's a spiritual war room and that's a spiritual war room in hell.
Oh.
What do you say to like what does anyone have anything about that?
Girl, you know I always do.
I do, but I'm just, wow.
But
Are they people who are
very-
coming to you to have you do cards, or are they just people you're talking to?
I've just been approached by very aggressive people who are very caught up on like demonic stuff.
I literally,
Satan's out to get you and all this other stuff. And I truly believe that where focus goes, energy flows.
that's true. And just, I literally have my mother, sorry, she popped in.
Okay. Hi.
It's like,
Mom.
be nice and ignore them. Ignore
Yeah.
them and be nice and be like, it's your journey.
Liz.
It's your journey. It's your journey. It's your journey. It was so
So-
nice to meet you.
With
It seems
me,
like they're just stuck
And,
in
like, leave.
fear. They're just
Yeah.
stuck in fear.
They
yeah.
are. Like,
And
it's
they,
your
like-
journey and leave. My mom's like, literally, Ava, ignore them, because she keeps calling you Eva, and I'm sorry, but it's because my
It's
auntie.
okay.
She's like,
Well,
ignore them, honey. And
It
just
could be
like,
a
like,
form
good
of
for you,
psychic
goodbye.
attack. Or like psychic
Yeah.
attack or energy vampires. Like you have to be afraid of that too, where people, they know you're doing the inner work, they know your light shining bright, and they want to scare you so that
But-
it dims your light.
So I completely agree with you ladies, because I know my relationship with God, divine
Yeah.
creator.
Mhm.
And I know who I'm communicating with. I'm
Correct.
very strict when it comes to clearing my space and
Oh
blah,
my.
blah, blah, all
Yes.
of this stuff. But it's a lot of projection, and like I get
A
chased
lot.
by these
It's
people. Like I'm not,
bombarded.
I get bombarded. And Liz last week was like, it's kind of funny how when God has a message for you, he sends these really aggressive people. Like, last week, I was literally cussed out.
Yeah.
Told that I was effing around because I didn't do this, that, and the other, and like
Oh,
almost,
welcome.
almost
You're a
like
real
falling
spiritual
for
person
mine.
now. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And it's like, so this is Christ-like right now, is what I want to know. And I've had another experience like that in
Yeah.
a couple months before. And I always, as soon as those situations start, I'm like, I like roll
Yes.
up the driver window and I'm like,
Correct.
okay, help, like
Right.
I ask for protection, and I ask to be seen, like shown the truth, and filter out all the other projections and everything. Cause there's obviously truth in those interactions and something that I need to hear. But y'all,
Yeah, but kind of ignore them. So I'm glad you place yourself in the bubble. Always place yourself in the bubble and just ignore them, because they're there to poke the bear. They want to bring you negativity, loves negativity. So they want you right on their wavelengths.
and
Well,
it's
and-
interesting because that is the first one is why I started to question myself and stopped reading cards.
Yep.
But I also took a step back to really do some soul searching and be like, is this right? And, is this right for me? And how do I feel about all this? And I was thankful for that situation because it made me stop and think and like do some
Yeah.
course corrections. But
You're so gifted at it. You're so gifted at card reading. I hope you don't give that up, but
Thank you.
do what resonates with
It's
you.
so funny that we all like go through like such similar like emotions like during all of this, like the
Yeah.
awakening. Because I did the same thing. It was like people coming at me like card readings evil and you're summoning demons and this and that. But like we've talked about before, everything with intent, you can literally use anything for good or bad. So
Correct.
if you when I do my own cards, it's like I stopped for a while, like you said, Ava, and then I was like, why am I stopping? Like I connect so much with my guides when I do readings just on myself. Like why would I stop that? Like if anything, the cards brought me, closer to source than anything.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
And if they would let you ever read for them, Ava, they might learn something. So just be there if they ever want to, but it's going to be a long time. So don't worry about it. They're never going
I'm
to,
all,
Yeah.
they won't ever come to you. Seriously, they
good,
will
I'm
never
good.
come to you.
You're like the cards say you're a bad person.
No, but they
Cards
won't-
say
they
not
won't-
today, honey.
Oh, man.
Yes, boundaries. Like,
That, yeah.
I have to say, and literally it's, it's above my pay grade. I'll use that because like sometimes I know the answer, but it's above my pay grade because I won't cross boundaries or contracts, but I don't know if you know when someone has a contract or not. But when they're that negative, just negativity begets negativity and they just want to pull you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what
misery
a
loves company.
psychic attack. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I really thought it might be.
It was. I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Because I definitely assessed it and was like, what can I take from this too? Um,
Yeah,
it's
because you can always learn something from everything, and it's a good tool. I'm glad that you do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such a hard time with these people.
I know. I
Liz
was
is like,
gonna
I'm
say,
glad I
Liz,
don't
they
attract
probably
men.
flock to you like you're the bright shining light. Like, oh, honey, come to church with us.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll go to church with them and
Yep.
I'll just stay quiet and that's it. And they're like, what do you think? And I'm like,
Sure.
you know, and
Fantastic.
I just don't give them any ammo ever.
Yep.
I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
You'll get there. You'll get there. You'll get there.
I mean, it honestly comes from, I grew up charismatic, like Christian, but
Yeah.
the rest of our family, like our extended family, is very Southern Baptist.
Yep.
And so I grew up understanding that I couldn't talk about things,
Okay.
even from Baptist to charismatic.
Yep.
And then when I hopped into more so like spirituality, kingdom stuff is what I call it.
Yep.
I really learned to shut up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I always say know your audience.
yeah. So I feel like I got like a really good activation and teaching of it very early on in life.
Yeah.
And people assume that I am like this little church going good little Christian girl. And I'm like, okay, you can think that, go ahead. But I have a problem with the vibe, like the devil's attacking you people. And I'm like, why are you spending your time
Right. Because
focused on him?
Right. Exactly.
it's
And I
kind of
love
like they're gonna manifest that if they keep
that.
in that.
I
Like,
mean, that's
just stop.
exactly, it's the whole idea of,
Invoking.
you know, we're
Yeah.
doing something right because we're having this happen. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
no,
Yeah.
you're not.
I went through a
You're not.
situation like that
Yes.
earlier this year. And I was
Yeah.
like, do I suck? Because I'm not getting attacked. Like, what's
Yeah,
going
exactly.
on? Everybody's like, oh, last night I was, and I'm like,
No.
Yeah,
"Yeah,
seriously.
good. Help me." Like, what?
No, you're good. You're good.
Seriously, like I've had people be like, oh, you need to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I just tell it to leave.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's-
Right.
It doesn't have
That's-
authority. It doesn't have the papers. It doesn't
Yeah.
have a contract over me. I don't have
Right.
to spend
Right.
my time
Right. He's
doing
not
all these other
like,
things.
yeah, I don't
That's the-
consent. So
yeah,
bye.
that's a big thing, is that like you can only be like cursed or whatever you want to call it if you believe that you can. Are
Correct.
you giving them that power over you, or it's just like, no, cancel, clear, not happening, like
Right.
you have
Yes.
no control over me? And that's where like so many people, even within like the spiritual community, you know, are talking about different things, and I'm like, why are you giving them that power? Like,
Exactly.
I know.
stop. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't give them that power over you. You know, if you believe that you can be cursed, well, then you're opening the door for that happening.
Yes. Like our
But-
beliefs are everything.
Yeah.
And also it is a very like victim minded thing, and that's a
Yes.
totally opposite of taking responsibility and stepping into power.
Yeah.
The exact opposite.
Yeah.
So with talking about curses and stuff like that, I totally just took this over, but I have a question about music
Go ahead.
and the subliminals and whatever underlying frequencies and stuff are going on. I do feel that when you understand what is being put out, you are in more authority over it.
Yeah.
What about the people who don't know that they're in? I guess them listening to that music is essentially them voting for it, so opening themselves up to that energy, correct?
It's
I
just
think
subliminal
also-
mind control, which
Yeah.
was the purpose of it. That's why they make music like that in the first place, I
Right.
think.
And like when I choose this song, I'm voting yes to this, so therefore I'm subjecting myself to whatever might be coming at me through
Correct.
these frequencies.
Yes.
However, if there's another person who is aware of what that music warfare, and they're like listening to it from a different, I don't know, frequency.
Like
I don't,
a
not
different-
frequency, but you know what I mean? Like
A
mind.
different perspective.
Yes. I just thought that would be something good to bring up, because, you know, music is such a big thing for so many people's lives, and we've been so screwed with it. It's like,
I know.
what do I listen to now? You know,
No,
'cause-
I was just doing this in the car yesterday with the hubby because he had to run into the bank. Because I'm just like, no, I can't. That's just too much today. I'll stay in the car. So
it sucks. I'm just like, can we go ahead and get
yeah, but
this-
like every song that came on, I was like, yeah, everything
And
was
they-
wrong with it. Everything was wrong with it. So I'm just like, all
And
right,
they banned the good frequencies like
yes,
432.
however long ago. Yeah. And they made
Yeah.
it all like 440 hertz, which is like a really low frequency.
Mhm.
I
And I
literally-
There, Ava, if you search out though, there are a lot of artists that know about this now. So if you look up like 432 music, like there's rappers, there's R&B, there's tons of music that use those
Yeah.
frequencies now. And it's like a
Wow.
growing thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
okay, I was like, when is this gonna like, when are we gonna get this shift? But I also guess I haven't like waited or like done enough research to like find it because I'm like you said, I'm doing so much either
Yeah.
working on YouTube stuff or listening to other things. And,
yeah.
you know,
yeah,
Yeah.
but the
I do
music
feel
thing,
like-
it's super hard to find a station. I literally had to put it on like WEZO that my mother used to listen to, and I think the Carpenters were on, and I'm like, oh, wholesome music, okay. I was
I
like, but
do
it's
think
so,
there is a level though, like a perspective that you can get to be above it though.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have to even be a victim to that. Like you can listen to stuff and just set the intent that it's not going to affect you or harm
To
you in
affect
any
you.
way. And it
Right.
doesn't. I
that's
mean,
what I was asking about somebody who listens to it in a knowing.
Yeah.
yeah, as long as they set the intention that it's not gonna harm them, you know?
yeah, I mean,
I
you
just
gotta
thought
have
people
enough,
might want to
like,
hear that.
you gotta have enough, like, I don't know, spiritual to like
Yeah.
shield yourself from it.
And
you
even after that, you can sludge.
help, you can help shield the person who's with you too. You can
Mm.
also put a bubble around them. just
Yeah.
saying,
Or
you know,
smudging
like that-
after crystals,
yeah.
like
And that
something
goes back
that you do
to-
to clear other energy. Yeah, I
Correct.
just wanted to bring that up because I know that that's like a lot of people have
yeah,
issues with that, and I went through it for a while, and there are some things like some songs where I feel myself just getting like
Yeah.
like and I'm
creepy.
like, ooh,
It's
okay.
icky. Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's like the stuff where it's like, okay, my body's telling me that this doesn't even feel anything
Mhm.
right. Like, why am I going to subject
Yeah.
myself to that? So,
The other thing you can do, like, because frequencies, you don't have to hear them, right? Like the way that frequencies work through the quantum system. So a lot of times with like, if my girls are watching something or, you know, there's music that they want to listen to, that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'll put frequency music on low enough that they're still able to watch their show or listen to their thing, but something that's going to be clearing and cleansing or bringing up the vibration in some way. So there's, you know, because there, like you said, like maybe there's a concert or something that you want to go to, and you know that it's tuned to 440 hertz. It's like, well, still go to that, put up the protection, and then, you know, maybe put some frequencies playing low enough that nobody else is hearing it, and it's still working, right? That's how frequencies work.
I feel like that ties well into your question earlier about the how do you exist in a 3D world. You know, it's kind of like you just kind of like put on your armor and
Yep.
go
suit up.
Yeah. And
suit up and
it's-
go through it.
it's a free will universe, and we've talked
Yeah.
about this before. Like I started doing that with chemtrails. Like when I walk outside and I see them, I'm like, I do not, because you know we can't do anything about them, so what do I do? So it's
Right.
just like I'm like, I do not consent to these toxins and these chemtrails.
Yep.
So we could do that with music that we listen to, or you know, really anything.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just the tiring part until you get used to it is just being so aware of everything.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like consciously living, quite honestly, because we're
Right.
so used to not living consciously.
correct.
mhm.
And I
you can't
literally,
see-
I don't know why, but I have selenite in like every coat pocket ever. I have so much selenite. So I always like have selenite on me too, which helps,
Yeah, that's a good one.
you know, because it can
And Liz-
it can clear like the whole area if you need it to.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Liz, you mentioning that the other day when I was in court, one of my friends came with me and we were both just like doing Reiki the whole time. And it's like every time I looked at this one clock, it would be like angel numbers and I would just be like repeating them to her. It'd be like 111, 222. And so we're like laughing while all this stuff is going on. But it did help, you know, like stuff like that did help. But it was just, you know, just that draining stuff of like, just don't want to be doing this.
I know.
Right, right.
Hopefully it won't be for much longer.
I was just about to say that because look, we tired out here.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. And keep
I
Yeah.
think I've had to come to the terms with that. It might be a couple more years.
I've heard that
I
too,
don't
like
know.
to
I
2025.
think 2024, 25, like just, I don't know, something in my intuition. I just feel like there's going to be more liberation around then. Not to say things aren't going to happen, you know, up until then. Absolutely. But
But then
I
the
think,
thing is, oh, go ahead.
I,
Sorry.
I think that, you know, whatever you want to call it, the alliance or source or like the spirit world wants more people to wake up, I think, so that if a truth reveal comes, it's not so damaging to their psyche.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Right. That's been my whole spiel is like, I don't think the intention is to traumatize any more people.
That's why I
Yeah.
don't think that's gonna happen.
'Cause
Like it'll
that's-
be like a truth, like maybe about, God, YouTube. Okay. The competition that was just had that we all know has been messed with.
Yeah.
Blatantly.
Like a little truth like that, just to waken up some people to be like, holy crap, I really saw that happen on the TV.
Right. Because that's how the other side has controlled us for so
Correct.
long, is traumatization. So
Yes, or just have mainstream media come out and all say the same thing at the same time on every station
yeah.
in
Yeah.
a different light than what they've normally heard. Like not
yeah.
all of it, but that.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
people, spiritual people, talk about how like the world that we envision and we're ready for as like people that have done some work is probably not gonna like fully fledged be there until like 2030.
No, and
Yeah,
I
I
told
know.
people that. And a
I
lot
can
of
see
my
that.
people, yeah, they got upset with me when I was doing readings because I tell everybody, I'm like, we're going to 40. And they're like, but I want to go to, I'm like, but we're going to 40.
Yeah.
They're like, well, how long? And I'm like, oh, you're going to be here at least 6 years.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like
Yeah.
that's what I keep seeing, at least 6. So I could see 2030 easily.
And then what's interesting to me is like, what is time? Because even that is breaking down.
We
So
have no
what does
idea
that
what
even
time
really
is.
mean?
We don't
Because I
know.
hear that and I'm like, but.
And then timelines are speeding up and slowing down all the time.
They are.
as
That's
well.
why I'm like,
Yes.
I'm at the point of like, what is time?
Yeah, and so
It's an
honestly,
illusion.
it's not, to focus on that is such a waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's a
Uh-huh.
Well, and that's what I
places-
mean. Like I had to come to terms with it because I think I had this realization like, okay, we are light workers. I believe that we're in a dark tunnel right now. We're in that like the tunnel of people waking up, people are going through their shadow work, people are going down these dark, creepy rabbit holes, you know? So we are here to be the light during this time. Like, yeah, we're impatient too, but we came here to be the light, you know, after, if there's a truth reveal, to be there for them. But we're also for the right now, and, you know, keep people in hope so they don't just think like everything's completely going to shit, because it looks like it is.
Yeah.
It looks like that on purpose right now, though.
Yeah.
I think we're
Right.
going to come out of it a little bit. So God, even just that little bit of the media is going to be all we need.
Yeah. I mean, the media is public enemy number one.
I know.
It's the reason why people are still brainwashed. Yeah.
I know. That's why we need it to turn a little. Let's pray.
Yeah.
I
That's
did
gonna
bring up too, there's this guy at the PPN speaker dinner
yeah.
that I went to, and there's this guy that I had never met before, and the owner of the house that it was at was like, you're not talking to anybody, they're not talking to anybody, you guys should talk to each other. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I went over to them and started talking to him, and he wrote a book on like forgiveness and love.
Yeah.
And he's just this very like sweet natured man, and his wife was there next to him, and we just like got on this whole conversation, and it was like very divine, like masculine energy. And I was like, this is just so refreshing. And I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, you know, this is how I know that we're actually like at the end, because people like us are like coming to the forefront now. Like him, he wrote a book, and then I'm possibly going to help him like do some video stuff in the future, but I got to read his book first. But it was just like, this is like, it just like reassured it to me. Like, this is how I know like something is about to change, because people like us are here to help.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
to
And
help the forgiveness and the trust and the love again, and you know, all that stuff.
Yes.
We're gonna need it.
And the mainstream media, the ratings are plummeting. Like that says a lot too. If
I know.
Mary, you say we are the news now, you know.
Yeah.
People
I
are
don't know
looking
why
at
they had me say
alternative.
that, but yeah, they were literally like, go on there and tell them that we are the news now. Like
Yeah.
if anything happens, you'll tell them. I'm like, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
It is, but I'm also like, I'm not a great reporter. So okay. And I don't follow a whole lot.
People
know.
want real people telling
I
them
know.
things these days. They don't want manicured stuff.
And that's why it's like we're all different too, like the way we teach or however you want to describe it. Like
Yes. And I love
that's like,
that. Yeah.
Like I can be very aggressive, but you know what? I like watching aggressive people. So that's how I learn. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. But and you got a great big audience that loves that. And I love that.
Yeah.
I like when you go live. You do great lives, Maren.
I need to get more used to it, but yeah.
Oh,
they're
it takes
fun.
a while because YouTube's
Yeah.
not the easiest.
Right.
I have so much fun when I do lives. I just like talk to whoever's in the chat.
Yeah, I like interacting with the chat. It's so fun.
I started to do that. Now I'm like, God, I can't keep up with all of them because they all have all these questions. And then I love that they all know each other because we got like JR. And
Yeah.
everybody's in there. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just now reading the chat.
Yeah.
Just keep
I know I
talking
see
about
like
yourself. We're
all the
good.
same names. I see all the same names in all the different videos. I'm like, hey again.
Yeah, because we're
neighbor.
all
I
like,
like how
it's our
Ava-
tribe.
Yeah, Ava calls it the neighbors now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go over to
Oh,
my
the
neighbor's
neighbors.
chat.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
I
gonna.
love that.
love that.
Jump block parties.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I might have
I've
to
done a
steal
few
that.
of those where it's like you get off the one channel and then you follow to the other, and it's like so much
I
fun.
love
Like
it.
all the same people.
Well, yeah, because none of us have. I don't have any like awakened friends in my real life, really. So it's like we're all scattered online. So we have to do it this way.
Yeah, I was just trying to start. No, we don't have any awake friends. Wow, that's super weird. Okay. Yeah, like all my awake friends are here. I'm like, hi.
Yeah, like I have like one or two in real life, like
I don't have
that
any.
I live by, but that's about it.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
awake brother's down by you, Maren. I have no one up here. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
We're scattered, for a reason.
Where are
We
you?
are, but like New York, so dear God, we used to be like the most liberal in the nation. Like, hello, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like,
Where are
wake
you,
up.
Maren? Where?
She's in
Florida.
Okay, I thought so by the tank top because we're all like,
Yeah.
We're all freezing.
I'm from northern Minnesota, but I've been in
Okay.
Florida for about 6 years. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, everybody else is like wearing like long sleeve. I was like,
Yeah.
she must be in Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like 80 degrees today. Sorry.
that does not suck. I like that for this time of year.
Mhm.
Oh, I wish.
Oh, well, we might be moving Nashville way. We don't know yet, Liz.
Oh, hey, you can come be a surrogate auntie, mother, whatever you want.
Oh my God, I would in a heartbeat.
Or are you in Tennessee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tennessee's beautiful. I thought about moving there before I chose Florida. But yeah,
yeah.
I like it there too.
A lot of people are moving here. A whole lot.
I
Same
know,
with
and I know
Florida,
a lot of New Yorkers are just because you guys are kind of free, but you don't tax my husband's pension. Tennessee is a state, so that's nice.
Yeah, we do.
I know, but and then you had me when you showed me the picture of snow.
Oh yeah, it snows just a few times, maybe like twice a year.
That's fine.
And that's enough.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Because I told him I'm like, it's like Georgia hot in the summer, but we're old and we'll have air conditioning, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's
I don't like this state. Like I need the leadership to change, and I know it did because I saw maps of like everything being a very different color than blue. It was
yeah,
weird.
the governor of Nashville.
Yeah.
The governor used to go to the church. I grew up with his sons.
Oh, that's interesting.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah, I
As
know.
far as I know, I mean, he could have turned, I guess, but you
No,
know.
he's a good guy. He's a good
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we might. I got to start looking at houses, and then I was like telling the husband, I'm like, he wants to own, and I'm like, but we're old. Like, why not rent and just have everything done for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like renting. I've never owned. I like renting.
Yeah, but I like to paint. I like my house to be colorful and homey and
Mm.
stuff. And I don't know if apartments let you do that. Do they let you do that?
They'll let you as long as
Paint
you
it
paint
back.
it back at the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. All right. See, I might be a renter. Okay.
You could probably sell. Do you have a house?
Yeah.
You could probably sell your house and easily buy something.
Oh dear God, yes. And right now, I would want to sell it now before everything goes boom. You know,
Yeah.
like it did in 2008. Let's say.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Super interesting. I know. All right, ladies, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this was
Do you have
fun.
last
Thank you.
words?
You all are
Next time you
solid.
see me, I'll have a baby most likely.
Oh,
Yay.
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Send all the
Yay.
Good
send
luck
all
with
the
that.
baby vibes to Liz. Send all the feminine vibes
Yes.
to you.
We
Yes.
got you, Liz. We got you virtually.
Yes.
Just have the husband put the phone up and just hit play. And we'll be like, gosh.
Gosh.
Could you imagine? Your poor midwife would be like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had my birth videoed, so you know.
I want to record some of it, but definitely not all of it.
Not all of it. You can forget some
Like
of
from
it.
here
It's
up.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll
All
try
right,
to see if
guys.
I can get him to do it.
You have a
Thank
great week.
You
Yep.
too.
Thanks, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.